Very good morning to all of you. Welcome to today's discussion about data structures. In the previous class, we have studied about implementation of queue by using array. So we have seen how we can implement the queue with the help of an array. We have seen the insert operation, how to insert an element into the queue. We have also seen how to delete an element from the queue. That is insertion and deletion operations where the procedures were discussed for insertion and deletion. And we have also implemented a program. We have also developed a program for implementation of all the operations on queue using array. That means array implementation we have studied in previous class. In this class, we'll be studying again the implementation of queue only, but now with the help of linked list. That is linked implementation. So as we know, the difference between array implementation and linked implementation of queue is in array implementation, memory will be allocated during the compilation, or memory gets allocated at the time of compilation, and that memory is fixed. We cannot change that memory. Whereas in linked implementation, the memory gets allocated dynamically during the execution time. So the memory gets allocated dynamically in case of linked implementation. So another advantage of linked implementation is only required amount of memory can be reserved instead of wasting the extra memory as in case of array implementation. In array implementation, what happens? We may reserve 100 locations for the elements, but we may use only 10 locations. The remaining 90 locations will be wasted. Whereas in linked implementation, what happens? For a single node, if you want to store a data, allocate memory for the single node, then attach that to the existing linked list. So this is the advantage of linked implementation of the queue. So linked implementation basically involves a dynamic memory allocation during the runtime only. So let us see how the insert operation works. Right. So as we have studied in case of linked list when we were discussing about the chapter of linked list, the first step what you have to do here is reserve memory for the node which you want to store. That means just get the memory, allocate the memory for the new node which you want to store, and store the data. Store the data value in the element field or data field of the new node, because every node consists of two fields at least. What is the procedure that we do? First, we take a node, that is, take an empty node, and every node consists of two parts, that is data part or element part, and this is one is next pointer or pointer part. So first thing is we reserve memory for that, and second thing is we store the data in the new location. That means store the data in the data part. For example, if you are storing an element called 10, store it in the data part. That is second step. Third step is this new element, that means this new node has to be attached to the existing queue. Queue nothing but existing linked list. We are trying to implement the linked list. That is we are trying to implement the queue by using the linked list. That means for the existing queue, you have to attach this. Next, you have to update the rear pointer, because we know that there are two pointers in queue. Front pointer will always point to the front side of the linked list, and rear will point to the rear side of the linked list. And we are implementing the insertion at the rear end, because in the queue, what happens? Queue involves the fact that elements are inserted from the rear end and elements are deleted out from the front end. From the rear end, we insert new elements. From the front end, we delete the elements. These are the queue functions. That means if you want to insert new elements, even in case of linked implementation, we have to advance the rear pointer. We have to advance the rear pointer. This is a simple procedure for um, inserting an element onto the linked list. Inserting an element onto the linked list, that is queue. queue implementation using linked list. So let us study this algorithm. That is algorithm for implementation of insert operation. Inserting an element onto the queue. That is queue implementation we are doing with the help of linked list. Hope this font is visible to you. If it is not visible, you just let me know so that I will increase the font size. Okay, this is the algorithm which we are using it for inserting an element onto the queue. We are creating the queue implementation. One second. It's not selecting size, proper size. Okay. Right. So let us see the procedure for the insertion of element onto the queue. Algorithm will begin with the start operation. And what is the first thing that we have to do? First thing is you have to reserve a memory for a node. That means one node for the linked list. You have to first reserve the memory. So in the structure definition, we'll be having two fields, that is the data field and the pointer field, which will point to the next node. What step 2 says? Step 2 says for the pointer, first allocate memory for the new node, and the allocated memory will be assigned to the pointer called PTR. Allocated memory will be assigned to the pointer called PTR. So that is what is the very first step. Get a node, allocate memory for the node. So I have taken a node, right? Memory is allocated for the new node. And what is the label being given for that? PTR. So PTR is the new node which we have reserved. And then PTR pointer element equal to value step 3. That means in the element location of the PTR node, because every node consists of two fields. The first field is element and the next field is next pointer, which will point to the next node. So these are the two fields which are present in each and every node. What step 3 says? In the element field of the PTR, that is PTR pointer element equal to value. So assume that this is what is our input for the linked list: 10, 20, 30, 40. These are the four nodes what we are trying to insert. So value is, first value is 10. That 10 has to be stored in the element field of the PTR. So element field of the PTR 10 we have stored. Then whenever you create a new node, first check whether front is equal to null. Because if front is equal to null, what it indicates, there are no nodes in the linked list. In the beginning, what situation will be there? Front and rear both will be pointing to null. When front and rear both are pointing to null, what we indicate? Queue is empty. There are no nodes in the queue and queue is empty. So first check whether queue is empty. If queue is empty, what happens? Then this node itself will become the very first node of the linked list. This node itself will become very first node of the linked list. If this is true, if front is equal to null, which is true in our case, because this is the very first node, then we have to go to step number 5. What step number 5 says? Front and rear both will point to the first node. Front and rear, make both to point to the very first node, because this itself is the very first node what we're trying to insert. That is, let us assume like this: F for front and R for rear. F for front and R for rear. That is step 5. Next, what step 6 says? PTR pointer next equal to null. That is, set the next field of the PTR to null. ptr pointer next equal to null, and then go to step 10. Step 10 is what? Simply stop. So what we have done, we have successfully inserted first node of the linked list. We have successfully inserted first node of the linked list, first node of the queue. Now, why I am telling linked list is because we are using linked list for the implementation of the queue. So I'll erase this. Okay. Now let us see. We want to insert one more element called 20. So what is the procedure? Take the new node, allocate memory for that, call it as PTR. The next step 3, what step 3 says? In the element field of the PTR, store the value. Element field of the PTR is this one, and store the value in the element field of PTR. 20 we have stored. Check whether linked list is empty. Check whether front is equal to null. If front is equal to null, what it indicates? The entire queue is empty. There are no nodes. But that is not in our case. In our case, what is the case? There is one node already present. Front is pointing to some node called 10. That means else part. We have to go to step number 7. Step number 7, what it says? Step number 7 indicates that there is at least one node in the queue, or one element present in the queue. Then this node has to be attached to this. What is the procedure? Just to make this next field, next rear pointer next, make it to point to PTR. That is rear pointer next equal to PTR. Same like what we have discussed in case of linked list. All the procedure is same. There is no big difference. So rear, that rear pointer next equal to PTR. Make this rear pointer next, make this to point to PTR. Rear pointer, let it be here till, because we have not changed that. Rear pointer next is made to point to PTR. Next, what I have to do? PTR pointer next must be made to null, because this is the new node which is being attached to this. So make PTR pointer next equal to null. That is step number 8. Step number 8, what we do? PTR pointer next equal to null. So when you attach this new node, when you attach this new element to the end of this queue, then this becomes the last node. That means rear should point to this node now. Rear should point to this node. That is set rear equal to PTR, or assign PTR to rear. In other words, make rear to point to PTR. Now rear is pointing to this node. So what we have done, we have successfully inserted second element onto the queue. From the rear end we have inserted. Let us say we want to insert one more element called 30. What is the procedure? Just take a new node, allocate memory for that, call it as PTR. That is new node wherein in which we want to store the element. So call it as PTR. Then next step, step number 3, in the element field of the PTR, store the value. What is that value? 30. Check whether front is equal to null. That means you have to go to step number 7. What step number 7 says? Rear pointer next equal to PTR. Rear pointer next. Make this to point to node PTR. Rear pointer next equal to PTR. Then make this field as null, because it should not point to some garbage value. Make this PTR pointer next is equal to null. Then advance this rear, increment it and make it to point to next node. That is rear equal to PTR. Rear is made to point to this PTR. That is how we have inserted one more node onto the queue. That is, we have inserted at the end of the queue. So let us take for one more last node, that is 40. Allocate the memory for that, allocate the memory for the new node, assign it to a variable called PTR, right? Assign it to variable called PTR. Then next, in the element field of the PTR, store the next value. What is the next value? Next value is 40. 40 is stored. Next, obviously, make rear pointer next to point to PTR. Then PTR pointer next equal to null. Then advance this rear and make it to point to this location. That is, rear is getting incremented. So this is how we store. We have inserted 4 nodes onto the queue by using rear end insertion. So this is what is insert function, the procedure for inserting elements onto the linked list. Procedure for inserting elements onto the linked list, or algorithm for inserting elements onto the linked list. So let us see the next procedure. deletion. So how do you delete? Before we delete, what we have to check? Check whether queue is empty, because if queue is empty, it is not possible to delete any of the elements from the queue. Then what you have to do, as we are deleting elements from the front end of the queue, just you have to retrieve the element from the front end, then update the front pointer, because we are deleting elements from the front. Then next step is you have to update the front pointer. Then if possible, if it is essential, then return the deleted element or removed element to the function call. That is what we do. So let us study the procedure. Algorithm for deleting an element from the queue. Right, this is the procedure. So this is visible. Okay, now when we have such, right, this is a procedure for performing deletion of elements from a queue in case of linked implementation. So let us first have our queue, whatever we have created just now. In queue implementation, there were 4 nodes, and basically where front is pointing to this node: 10, 20, 30 and 40, and rear is pointing to the last node. This is null, and this pointer is pointing to next node. 20, 30 next point is pointing to 40. This is what is the existing linked list now. So what we have is this existing linked list, and now let us see the procedure for deleting an element from the linked list or deleting an element from the queue using linked implementation. So this is front end of the queue and this is rear end of the queue. So how you can simulate this to queue is very simple like this. In case of array implementation, this is how it looks like: 10, 20, 30, 40. This is nothing but the array implementation, same way. This is in case of array implementation. This is in case of array implementation. So here front is pointing to this node and rear is pointing to this node. But what we are trying to do, simulate same in case of linked implementation. That is trying to delete the element, remove the element from the front end of the queue. Removing the element from the front end of the queue. Okay. Now let us see the procedure. Algorithm will start from the first step as usual, right? What we have to check before you delete an element from the queue, you have to check whether front is null, because if front is null, what happens? Entire queue is empty, and we will simply display the message saying that, see here, if front is equal to null, we have to go to step 3, else we have to go to step 4. In this case, if front is equal to null, if there are no elements in the queue, we display a message saying that queue is empty and we cannot delete the element. Simply go to step number 7 and stop. In this case, queue is not empty. That means we have to go to step number 4. Step number 4, what it says? Fetch an element. What is that? Fetch the element from the front end of the queue and store it in a temporary variable called I. That is front pointer element. What is front pointer element? Front pointer element is 10. So 10 is assigned to I. Then what I have to do, once you imagine to delete this, then front should point to 20. When you remove this 10 from the queue, then 20 will become first node of the queue. That means what we have to do in step number 5, take this front and make it to point to 20. Front, assign front to front pointer next, or front pointer next is assigned to front. That means we are advancing front to the next node. Front equal to front pointer next. Now front is pointing to this node. And step 6, what we do, we simply return this to the caller. Return the deleted element. Return the deleted element. Return the deleted element. Now for our understanding purpose, for completeness, I will just remove this, delete this, saying that the front node, the element has been deleted successfully from the queue. The element successfully deleted from the queue. So if you want to delete one more element, So again, you call this function. What is that? Check whether front is equal to null. In this case, it is not true. That means we will go to step number 4. What step number 4 says? Step number 4 simply take a temporary variable I. There you store the element. That is, wherever front is pointing to, take the element field of that. So what is the element field there? Element field is 20. So I will be assigned a value of, I will be assigned a value of 20. Then once if you want to delete this, then front should be made to point to next node. So front equal to front pointer next, step number 5. What I will do, I will increment the front to the next node. Then we will return to the caller. Actually, we are not deleting this node here. Actually, this will be collected by the garbage collection entity. Automatically, it will be removed. Because when in dynamic memory allocation, what happens when some pointer to a node is not existing, if a node is assumed to be not essential, then the memory allocated for that node will be collected by the garbage collector. So that's what, for completeness, I am showing it that it has been deleted from the front end of the queue. Means front end of the queue implementation. This is how we go on deleting all the elements of the queue, or in the linked implementation of the queue, and remaining all procedures whatever we did with the, this is nothing but in linked implementation, in linked list we have studied one concept. What is that? Inserting an element from the rear end and deleting element from the front end. That is nothing but queue only. The same queue function program we are studying here. Once again, no big difference in that one. So briefly, I will cover the program. It's like a recapitulation of the old program what we have studied. All the aspects are same here. Right. So the structure element, as usual, as we know, every node of a queue element will consist of two parts: the element part and the next part. Element will contain the actual data, next will contain the pointer to the next node. So declare the two pointers, front and rear, and make them to point to null, because we are beginning with the assumption that front and rear both are pointing to null. We are beginning with the assumption that front and rear both are pointing to null. And these are the prototype for different functions what we use in our program. So are we connected till now? I hope there are no issues. Shall I continue? Is there any difficulty?
No, sir.
Okay. Right, these are the prototypes for the different functions. Now in the main function, as usual, different options are being used, being displayed for the user. That is what you want to perform with the queue, whether you want to insert an element into the queue, delete an element, or display and exit. Corresponding choice you have to enter onto the main function. Then that entered choice will be stored in a variable called choice. Then that choice will be compared within the switch statement. That whatever choice you have entered, that will be compared within the switch statement. If you have given choice 1, then case 1 will be matching this whole, all the statements present within the case 1 will execute for insert. So for insert, what is happening, we will simply ask user to enter the element to be inserted or enter the element to be added to the queue, and that will be stored in a variable called number1, and here we'll call the insert function. That is what this line indicates. Call the definition of insert function. Here we'll call the insert function. That is, element will successfully get inserted. So this will repeat as many times you give the choice 1. Take the element, store it in a variable, then call the insert function by passing that element as the parameter. For example, if you want to store 10, then 10 will be passed in the number. If you want to store 20, then 20 will be passed to the number. This is what is the case when you enter choice 1. Say if you want to give choice 2, that means you want to delete elements from the queue. So we delete the elements from the front end of the queue. We delete elements from the front end of the queue, right? So simply call the delete function. What the first line says, call delete function. What the first line says, call delete function. The definition of delete function will be called, and in turn the function gets called and we'll get the return something from that function. The function returns, the function definition you will discuss later. What function returns? The deleted element. It's going to return the deleted element, and that deleted element will be stored in number 2. That is, whenever the delete function completes the execution, what we are using in the procedure, we are returning, or the method is returning the element which you have deleted, and that will be stored in a variable called number 2. So it is possible whenever you are deleting, the element may not get deleted. In that case, what happens? We will display the message saying that queue is empty and the elements cannot be deleted. It is possible. Else what we do? The deleted element will be displayed onto the screen to the user. Else part it will be displayed. That is what happens whenever case 2 you have given. If you have given case 3, simply we will display all the elements of the queue. Then case 4 is for exit and default. It is for default choice. So as well, this is main function is very same. Now let us see each and every function briefly. That is definition of the insert function. How the insert function works, and how this delete function works. Next, how the display function works. Okay. First, let us see the definition of the insert function. That is, we are trying to insert an element onto the queue. So we're trying to insert an element onto the queue, and what is, let us assume the same input for our program. Let us assume the input like 10, 20, 30 and 40. These are the 4 numbers what we want to insert onto the queue. These are the 4 numbers what we want to insert onto the queue. So whenever you call the insert function, the first element will be passed as 10. So value will be having a value of 10. So what is the procedure for inserting an element? The procedure for inserting an element is take the declare the structure variable ptr as a variable of type struct q. Ptr as a variable of struct q, right? So I am just trying to declare a variable, right, and allocate it to variable called ptr. Ptr is a node now which has been allocated with the memory. Then in the element field of the ptr, store the new value which you are storing. That is ptr pointer element. Ptr pointer element, as we know, every node consists of 2 parts, the element part and the next part. The element part and the next part. So element part will contain the actual data which we are trying to store. The next part will point to the next node of the linked list. So that is the known fact. Right? So what it says, in the element field of the PTR, store the value. Element field of the PTR, we have stored the value that is 10. Next, before you attach this to the existing queue, you have to check whether queue is empty. Because if queue is empty, what happens? This itself will become very first node of the queue. This itself will become very first element of the queue. Check whether front is equal to null. Yes, that is true in our case. Why? Because in the main function in the beginning, we had allocated both front and rear to null. I'll just show it. See here. This is where we have made both front and rear to null. That means the queue is empty now. The queue is empty. That means this condition is true. When this is true, else will not execute. When if is true, else will not execute. So this is true. What we do? Front and rear both will point to the new node. That means the PTR will become the front node, as well as it will become the rear node. That means this is the first node, and that itself is the first node as well as the last node of the linked list. Then make this next field to null. PTR pointer next is equal to null, right? So this is what happens whenever you are inserting one node onto the linked list. We have inserted one node successfully onto the linked list. So let us assume that you have called insert function once again, and now you want to insert element called 20. So now that 20 will be passed as a value. Now value is contained, 20 is present in the value. Next thing is, as usual, we have to take a new node, PTR, allocate memory for that using dynamic memory allocation function called malloc. Then in the element field of the PTR, store the value. What is value? 20. 20 is stored in the element field of PTR. So 20 is stored in the element field of the PTR. Next, check whether front is equal to null. No, this condition is false, and else part is true. See, when if is false, else will execute automatically. That is what is syntax of the if else statement. So in the else part, what it says, whenever you are going to else part, it means that there is at least one node in the queue. So what you have to do, rear pointer next should be made to point to PTR. Rear pointer next is assigned to PTR, or PTR is assigned to rear pointer next. So rear pointer next, make it to point to PTR. When rear pointer next is pointing to PTR, it will not contain null now. You should remove this null. Why? Because now it is pointing to some node. Now this is pointing to some node. That is what is impact of this step. In the next step, what you have to do, we have to make this to point to null because it is not pointing to nowhere. So this is the node which we are attaching it. So make PTR pointer next equal to null. Then you have to advance this next step. Rear has to be made to point to 20 because 20 is being inserted at the end of the queue. So rear equal to PTR. So rear is equal to PTR. So that means rear pointer is pointing to the new node called PTR. This I will remove it for completeness. This is how we have inserted successfully one node. So let us say you want to insert one more node, 30. What is the procedure? Allocate the new node with a dynamic memory allocation, then call it as PTR. Call it as PTR. What is the next step? In the element field of the PTR, store the value, that is 30. Next, check whether front is equal to null. Front is equal to null. No, it is false. That means else part is true. What we do? Rear pointer next equal to PTR. Make this next field of the rear to point to PTR. So when it is pointing to PTR, you have to remove this because it is not containing null now. It is pointing to some other node. Then make this PTR pointer next as null. This step, PTR pointer next as null. Then advance this rear. Rear will be advanced to make it to point to this node. So rear has been advanced to point to 30. Whenever you have advanced rear, it must be removed. Right? Similarly, we'll insert one more node. That is, we insert one more node called 40. Allocate memory for the new node. Call it as PTR. Next, in the element field of the PTR, store the value. In the element field of the PTR, store the value. So in the element field of the PTR, we'll store the value called 40. Next, check whether front is equal to null. No, front is not equal to null. That means else part will execute. Rear pointer next. That means the next field of the rear will point to PTR. The next field of the rear will point to PTR. Then make this PTR pointer next is equal to null. Then advance this rear to point it to this node. So rear will point to this node. This is what is the status when we have called insert function 4 times by passing 10, 20, 30, 40 as the parameters. This is how the insert function works. Same way the display function. So let us see the display function first. How the display works. It will take some time. right? This is what is the display function what we have in our hand. Assume you have called a display function and these are the nodes present in the linked list. The same nodes whatever we have inserted just now, 10, 20, 30 and 40, it is null. 30, 20, 10 pointing to next node, this is pointing to next node, rear is pointing to 40 and front is pointing to 10. Right, this is the existing linked list, and assume that existing queue, and assume you have called the display function. You have called the display function, right? As usual, we take a pointer called PTR and assign it to front. We will not change this front pointer. We will not advance the front for traversal purpose. A new node is being taken called PTR and front is assigned to the PTR. In other words, PTR is pointing to front. So PTR is the node which is pointing to the front node. PTR is made to point to this node. PTR is made to point to this node. Before you display, you have to check whether queue is empty, because if queue is empty, we cannot display the elements. So when queue is empty, if front is equal to null, that is not in our case. Front will be null whenever queue is empty. That means we'll go to the else part. In the else part, what happens? Elements will be displayed successfully. We'll simply give a message saying that elements of the queue are. Go on repeating this while PTR is not equal to rear. Rear is pointing to this node and PTR is pointing to 10. Check this whether PTR is not equal to rear. Yes, it is true, because PTR is equal to 10, rear is equal to pointing to 40. So obviously it is true. We will enter into the while loop and execute this statement. What is this statement? PTR pointer element is displayed in the print statement. What is PTR pointer element? PTR pointer element is 10. So what happens in the output is 10 gets displayed. After displaying 10, whenever this print gets called next time, one tab is being displayed here. So that I'll explain in the next iteration. PTR equal to PTR pointer next. That means once you display this value, our intention is to display the next value 20. That means you should increase this PTR pointer and make it to point to the 20. Now pointer is being advanced and we are making it to point to the node called 20. Again, how the while loop works? All the statements within the while loop will repeat until this condition is true. Now PTR not equal to rear. Yes, this condition is true. We will enter into the while loop, execute the printf statements. We'll display what is that? When a tab is there, \t. That means one tab space will be left. One tab space will be given for easier purpose, for display in a user friendly manner. Then display the PTR pointer element. What is PTR pointer element? 20. So 20 gets displayed. Then advance PTR, make PTR pointer to point to the next node. Make pointer to point to the next node. Once again, we'll check the condition. PTR, is it not equal to rear? Yes, it is true. We will enter into the while loop, then give one tab space, then display the element. What is PTR pointer element? PTR pointer element is 30. Then make PTR to advance to the next node. PTR is pointing to the next node. Now check the condition within the while loop. PTR is not equal to rear. Yes, it is false. Why? Because PTR is equal to rear. Once it is false, we will come out of the while loop. See here in this iteration, we are not displaying the last element. The last element will get displayed only in this statement. What it says? Rear pointer element. That is rear, wherever rear is pointing, that element to display. Rear pointer element is what? On tab space, rear pointer element is 40. 40 gets displayed in the last statement. This last statement is meant for displaying the last element of the queue. So ultimately, how the output will be 10, 20, 30, and 40. This is space between those elements. This is how the elements of a queue are getting displayed. Elements of a queue are getting displayed. Now let us see the delete function. That is how the delete function will work in case of linked implementation of the queue. In case of linked implementation of the queue, we know that to delete an element from the queue, we use front end. So which is front end? This left side is front end and this right side is rear end. this is pointing to null, and front is pointing to this node, and rear is pointing to this node. This is the existing scenario, and this element is 10, 20, element is 30, and this element is 40. This is the existing scenario what we have. This is the existing scenario, and we are trying to delete the element now. We are trying to delete the element. So assume the delete function is called from the main function. Before we delete the element, we should check the condition. What is that condition? If Q is empty, we cannot delete the elements. So how do you check that? Q is empty if front is pointing to null. That is not in our case. Front is not pointing to null. And if is false, else statement will execute. That means all the statements present within the else part will execute. So what we do in the else part? Just fetch this element so that we can return it to the caller. That means I is equal to front pointer element, removing element from the front end of the queue. That's it. Front pointer element is what? Front pointer element field, because every node consists of two parts, element field and the next field. Front pointer element is what? 10. Store this 10 in the variable, then advance this front to the next node in this statement. Front equal to front pointer next. That is, front is equal to front pointer next, and simply we are returning it to the caller. Return value of I to the caller. So once you return this, where what value we are returning in this iteration? 10 we are returning. For completeness, I will show what happens. This value I is being returned. 10 is being returned to the caller. What happens? We'll go to the main function. So after execution of the delete function, see, after the execution of the delete function, we have called the delete function here. We have called the delete function, and what it has written? 10 is it has written, and that returned value 10 is being assigned to what? Number 2. So what number 2 is containing? 10 it is containing, and that 10 is being displayed in this statement. Whatever element you have removed is 10. That means 10 element removed from the queue. This is how the delete function works. Now let us delete one more element. See, for completeness, as front is pointing to this node, this will not have any significance now. This will not have any significance. Deleting one more element. Front is not equal to null, it is true. Else part, what we do? In just a variable, obtain the front pointer element. What is front pointer element? 20. There we'll store 20 in the variable I. We'll store 20 in the variable I, and just after, if you want to delete this, just make front to point to the next node. So front equal to front pointer next. So front is being advanced so that it can point to the next node called 30. Then we will simply return the deleted element. What is deleted element? 20 will be returned to the main function, and in the main function we are displaying the deleted element. And for completeness, what I'll do, I'll just remove this. This is how the delete function works, and we have seen all the functionalities of the linked implementation of the queue. We have seen all the functionalities of linked implementation of the queue. I'll just try to give the demonstration of the program. Right, this is the program what we have studied just now. Right, I'll just execute the program. Right, I have executed the program. Zoom it so that you can see. Okay, now select a choice from the following. What you want to do? Insert an element into the queue, delete, display. Right, so I'll give choice 1. I want to insert the element, enter the element to be inserted into the queue. Say I'll give 10. So 10 has been inserted successfully. Once again, choice, what I'll give? I'll give choice as 1 again. Enter the element to be inserted, 20. So 2 elements we have inserted. Once again, I'll give choice as 1. Enter. Element 30 is inserted. So let us display and check. That is, what are the elements? 10, 20, and 30 are the elements which are present in the queue. 10 present in the queue. 10 is present at the front end of the queue, and 30 is present at the rear end of the queue. Enter. I'll give choice 1 once again. Element is 40. I'll give choice once again. This is the advantage of linked implementation. As and when it is required, a memory getting allocated for the node, and you can insert the elements. You can insert the elements as many as you want. You can go on inserting all the elements. Once again, choice 160. So maximum number of elements till the system memory becomes full. You can go on inserting all the elements. And practically we will not feel the overflow condition in case of dynamic memory allocation. It is very rare, right? Now let us display the elements. How many we have inserted? 10, 20, 30, 40 and 40, 50 and 60. These elements we have inserted, and once you delete, 10 will get deleted. So let us give the choice now. What is that choice? I'll give 2 as a choice. That means 10 is successfully deleted from the queue. Let us check whether 10 is deleted or not. Display it once again. Yes, you can see after displaying that 10 has been deleted. Now let us give, this is the existing queue. Let us give choice 2 once again. I'll give choice 2 once again. What happens? 20 is deleted successfully, right? Display it. The elements present in the queue are 30, 40, 50 and 60. So let us display once again. 30 is, let us delete once again. 30 is deleted. Again I will delete. 40 deleted. Again I will delete. 50 got deleted. So let us display. There is only one element. What is that? Only one element. 60 is the only one element left out. So because we have to check the empty condition, right? So what I will do, I will give choice 2 once again. Which element got deleted? 60 got deleted. Now try to display. Q is empty. Now try to delete by giving choice 2. Q is empty. Now I'll try to give some choice called find. Yes, that is invalid choice. I'll try to give exit in the big end. 4. Yes, we have completed the implementation. So what we have seen in today's class is linked implementation of the queue. We have discussed how a queue can be implemented by using linked list. We have seen the algorithm for inserting, algorithm for deletion, deleting an element from the queue, and then the complete program for implementation of the linked implementation, for implementation of the queue using linked list. The next class we will be discussing about the circular queues.